let's cast our minds back to June 18, 2026. This was a night in Vancouver where Canadian soccer history wasn't just, made, it was completely rewritten. Zero. Literally zero. Heading into this match against Qatar, that was the exact number of World Cup wins the Canadian men's national team had ever achieved. I mean, not in their 1986 debut, not 2022, nothing. That is some serious historical baggage to carry onto the pitch, right? Okay, let's dive into this. How exactly does the nation searching for its very first World Cup win suddenly obliterate a decades-long drought with a massive 6-0 blowout? Let's break down exactly how this wild night unfolded step by step. Section 1, a historic night in Vancouver. Picture this, over 52,000 fans packed to the rafters inside BC Place, with thousands more spilling out and turning downtown Vancouver into an absolute sea of red. Ahead of kickoff, Canada coach Jesse Marsh really set the tone. He promised a brand of football that would, quote, electrify the crowd and really showcase their elite talent and mentality. And boy, as we'll see, did they emphatically deliver on that promise. That first half, it was an absolute masterclass in total dominance, while Qatar just completely unraveled. Cy Larin kicks things off, slotting home a rebound in the 16th minute to totally open the floodgates. Then, Jonathan David steps up and blasts a volley in the 29th minute to make it 2-0, and it just goes from bad to worse for Qatar. Almost immediately after that second goal, Qatar's Homam Ahmed takes down Taj Van Buchanan, getting himself a straight red card. So now Qatar is down to 10 men, and David makes them pay for it yet again right before the halftime whistle. Utter chaos for Qatar, absolute control for Canada. Moving on to Section 2. Triumph and tragedy. Dizzying highs in sports can so quickly be met with devastating lows. Now, Canada clearly had an overwhelming advantage here. They were leading by multiple goals against a team that was eventually reduced to 9 men. But the cost of this game was just immense. Midfielder Ismail Kone suffers this truly gruesome lower leg injury after a dangerous tackle from behind by Asim Madibo. Now, Madibo is sent off. That's Qatar's second red card of the night. But Kone has to be stretched off the pitch and rushed straight to a local hospital for surgery. Just a heartbreaking moment. And the raw reaction from the fans? Immediate and incredibly intense. If you looked online, places like Reddit really captured the mood perfectly. One comment pretty much summed it up, saying, "We ain't that nice, eh?" People were furious. There was very real anger over that tackle, and both the fans and the team instantly wanted retribution. But they wanted it exactly where it hurts the most, right on the scoreboard. So, the crucial point here is exactly how the team responded to that trauma in the 64th minute. Substitute Nathan Saliba actually steps up to take the free kick that resulted from that awful tackle, and he just bends this beautiful shot right past the keeper, making it 4-0. But what he does next, that is the absolute emotional climax of the entire match. He runs to the sideline and holds up Ismail Kone's jersey in this beautiful, solemn tribute to his fallen teammate. It was honestly the fastest, most perfect response you could ever ask for. Which brings us to Section 3, the hat-trick hero. So while Saliba definitely provided the emotional heart of the match, we have to talk about Jonathan David. His individual performance was just remarkable, truly sealing this historic rout. By scoring in the 29th minute, again in first half stoppage time, and finally capping it off in the 92nd minute, he achieved something wild. He became the first player to score a World Cup hat-trick on home soil since England's Geoff Hurst way back in 1966. He also joins the USA's Bert Patenaude from 1930 as one of the very few players from outside Europe or South America to actually pull this off. Oh, and he also joined Lionel Messi as one of the few players to score a hat-trick in this current tournament. I mean, we are talking about truly legendary company here. Section 4, smashing the record books. And this brilliantly illustrates just how massive this game was. If we zoom out a bit to look at the broader impact, putting 6 goals past Qatar did something huge. It vaulted Canada straight to the very top of Group B. By sitting on 4 points with a massive +6 goal differential, they completely changed the math of the tournament. They pulled ahead of Switzerland, who also have 4 points, but only a +3 differential. Suddenly, Canada is standing on the absolute precipice of the knockout rounds. And when you compare this to the highest scoring CONCACAF World Cup matches in history, Canada didn't just beat the record, they completely obliterated it. They easily surpassed Mexico's 4 goals from 1977 and the U.S. men's national team's 4 goals from earlier in this very tournament. This 6-0 win is officially the largest margin of victory in CONCACAF World Cup history. Period. End of story. To really wrap your head around the unprecedented nature of this match, We just have to look at a few rapid-fire statistical anomalies. Are you ready for this? 97 touches in the Qatar penalty box. That is the highest ever recorded since data tracking even began in 1966. 8 shots on target in the first half alone. Plus, Canada became the very first team outside of Europe and South America to ever score 5 or more goals in a single match. And, on the flip side of that coin, Qatar became the first Asian team in World Cup history to receive 2 red cards in one game. Just a staggering night of numbers. Section 5. Next up, Switzerland awaits. Let's move to and see how this builds towards their next matchup. Because even while they're celebrating this historic achievement, the team's focus remains fiercely locked right onto the next challenge. Striker Cycle Laren made this super clear, saying, Switzerland are around the corner and the job is not finished. We will have Connie in the back of our minds and do it for him. They don't just want to win this group. They want to win it for their injured brother. Canada has finally arrived on the world stage. They've done it emphatically, powerfully, and beautifully. But the big question remains, can they carry this intense fire past Switzerland and deep into the knockout rounds? They've certainly got the talent, they have the roaring home crowd, and now they've got the ultimate motivation. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep your eyes glued to Group B, folks, because this tournament, it is just getting started.